is unable to record.
Hi, welcome to Midday Roast with Team SI. I'm Landy Bird, and Midday Roast is just a chance for everyone here at Team SI to share with our friends what we have going on in digital marketing, what we have going on in technology, and kind of some things that are going on around the office sometimes. And today what we're doing is talking about some things that we do around the office, specifically taking care of business. And to talk about taking care of business, I've got Karen and Kyle with me today. Karen and Kyle are both account executives. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and share today's Midday Roast with everybody on my Facebook. And if you want to share it too, we'd appreciate that. And ask your friends to sit here and join in with us. Let's see, hit the button, and
we're shared.
And we're shared. All right. So, and if in the middle of our conversation you have a question or a comment, or just want to give Karen or Kyle a shout out, don't hesitate to do so. And Blake, our video storyteller, is running behind the console today, and Blake will holler that out for us if we get a comment or question, so we know what's going on. Cool. So I'll start out with Kyle. Why don't you just tell us what you do here at Team SI, how long you've been here, and what's your favorite thing about your job?
So I am I am a senior account executive. I've been here since January 1 of this year, and I basically help clients out with their digital media campaigns and running those, and I do a lot with our websites as well, and help get those projects off the ground.
Right.
And my favorite thing is just being able to kind of share in success with people. So it's really cool, especially when you have a brand new idea that you're like, neither myself or the client's tried before, and we want to see if it works. And when it does, that's a really great thing to share.
Cool. All right. What about you?
I have been with Team SI for a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
I was with the sister agency, Main Holcomb Partners, for 2 years before that, and moved to Team SI last September. I've been in the agency business for a while. This is my 4th agency.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the next
Your
question?
favorite thing? Your favorite thing about working at Team SI? Or the favorite thing about your job?
I enjoy working. I have the world's best clients, and I enjoy working.
Yeah.
I do have the world's best clients. I love working with my clients, and I love the people at Team SI. It's a
Cool.
talented pool of young people, and they do a great job.
Cool. So today we're talking about taking care of business, and we called it that because really talking to 2 account executives, and they're the people that make sure we get things done, that take care of strategy, that know a lot about marketing, that stay up to date. And I just thought it would be interesting to kind of pick your brains to see how you approach working with clients to let people share. And the other thing of interesting to note is both Karen and Kyle work in our equipment division.
Yes.
So Team SIEQ, so their primary responsibility, they both had other clients outside of that, but now they both work in our equipment division.
Mm-hmm.
And in the equipment division is where we work with dealers from different tractor dealers and construction equipment dealership and agriculture equipment dealership.
Across the country.
Yeah, really across the country.
It's national.
We have dealers everywhere from South Florida to Northern California and everywhere in between. I think the latest account that I saw this morning, we have 384 different dealership locations that we work with across the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah, we just added that up this morning.
It's a lot of pins on the map.
That's a lot of pins on the map. In fact, if you want to see the map on our website, you can go to teamsi.com and look at our equipment dealer section and click on, and it'll show you a list of map pins of all the clients that we work with. So that's really exciting. Okay, so why don't you just tell us what it is a senior account executive does on a daily basis, Kyle?
So I like to think of my job, because I have a music background, is I'm kind of like the composer. Or not the composer, but the conductor. And I guess I would call the client the composer, and the audience is obviously the people that the client wants to reach.
Right.
And then we have all of these different pieces of the orchestra that we take care of for the client. So the client, maybe they want to run a brand new campaign, because we work in equipment, maybe there's like a new model of a tractor out, and they want to run that for either a certain segment or their entire customer base. And so we work with different media teams. We have a digital media team and traditional. Work to find the strategy for what we're going to do for both of those and how we're going to tie all of that together. And then I always think about where we're going to send these people. Is it going to be a website? Is it a phone number? We're going to figure out how we're going to do that, and then basically all the pieces kind of come together, and like I said, that kind of makes the concert.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I really think of our account executives as the go-between between the agency and the client. They represent the agency to the client, and so we want all the communications to come through them. But they also represent the client to everybody else in the agency and have the voice of the customer dealing with all of the rest of our internal team. So it's sort of important.
And a lot of times there's an interpretation, a translation and communication between what the client's needs are and what our expertise is that we can meet those needs. And everyone has their own specifics, expertise, and so it's a coordination of multiple people and multiple platforms for one end result, which is hopefully increased sales.
Right, and we really want the account executive to own the results.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one of the core values that we talk about a lot at Team SI is we want to treat other people better than ourselves.
Yes.
And the way I think of it really as an account executive is you want to act like you're part of the business from your client, that you own part of the business, that you are the son or daughter of, you know, the business owner. And I think Karen's got a really unique perspective of that with our equipment dealers, because she is the daughter of a former equipment dealer. Yes. And gives you a unique perspective when you deal with them.
Worked in the dealerships, grew up in the dealerships,
Yeah.
worked on the farms, drove the equipment, worked on the equipment.
Yeah.
So we tend to immerse ourselves in our clients' business and industry so that we can understand it from their perspective, but we're not so involved and so inside of the business that we can have an objective perspective, because sometimes the clients are so into their own business they don't realize what a new customer or a new user to their website might see or the experience they may have.
Exactly. So part of that process of becoming immersive, acting like you own it, treating others better than yourselves, is we really expect our account executives to do long-term planning and reporting results. So I'm going to ask you, because I think you're really talented at this, to talk about planning long-term. And we're right in the middle of that process for you right now with all your clients. So what does that go through as you figure out and look at it to the transition to what the plans for next year is going to be?
Well, experience does help. Having some time with the dealerships and then bringing in other experience from other clients and other industries that I have, because you can bring these unique and innovative ideas like Kyle referred to earlier. And you bank on what has worked in the past, and then you look for things that might move that needle even further, something new, something that they haven't seen before.
Yeah, I really like to think of, I call it like the 80-20 rule. I want to spend 80% of the money on things that I know have worked, and then I'm going to put 20% of the money on things that are new and innovative and try. And we may move it around and change it throughout the months until we find something that starts working, but you got to have that pot of the budget set aside for experimentation and finding new things, or otherwise eventually you die. You know, innovate or die.
And what we saw with some of the new things, we brought that 20%, they're now in the 80% category because they were so new that hadn't been seen and hadn't been used before, and the results were tremendous. And so now those are the standard traditional success stories, and we've got to find something new.
Exactly.
So,
and that really pushes
our
account executives to do the strategy the right way, and our internal team to be constantly discovering new things.
And they're very important.
And for me, one of the things that's really cool is I see it jump from client to client to client,
it's all different.
Even a bigger picture to see it jump. Like, we found one new thing from this client, we can share it with another client and it can work, and then we can move it to a different industry and see how it works in there, and really grow all of our clients and help all of our clients grow that business. And part of that growing that business and measuring is the results, Kyle. So tell me about how you share results with your clients, and what's that process?
Well, I like to, charts and graphs are great, but I tend to use those more as like, this is what makes my report credible, and I like to put it in more of like a conversational tone, I'll say, because a lot of clients, they're really great at their business, but so some of them are experts in media and they use it like that, but some of them they don't necessarily understand, like, what is the click-through rate? Why is that important? Is this a good click-through rate? How I know that? And so I kind of like to break it down like that and just say, like, this is, the tactic that we use to, that we talked about, like whether it be search marketing or a behavioral display, something like that, and then explain like this is what we ran, and this is how well it did, and this is, and then give them some comparison. Like, we did, this much better than the last month, or we here's the industry average for this number, and here's how you did. And so I kind of like explaining it that way and kind of sending them just a little, quick summary of each thing that way. And then, like I said, attach some charts and the graphs on the back so they can see that if they want to.
So we call our go-betweens account executives. Other agencies call them brand managers or brand strategists. But I think it's really important to have that position. And so why do you think that works for us, having an account executive?
Well, like we said before, to interpret what the client's needs are and how we can best meet and hopefully exceed those needs.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the go-between.
To be the go-between.
And it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the longer, it's also important, like for me, when we assign account executives to a client, finding the right account executive that matches the personality of the client. And sometimes we'll have an account executive and the relationship with the client isn't going really well. And, we can't figure it out, but we can switch account executives and we match the personality, and suddenly, it's amazing, and the results are churning, and the whole marketing campaign is moving. So, I mean, besides having experience in that field, knowledge of how the agency works, the personalities matching up with the client is really important.
Absolutely.
It's kind of probably one of my biggest surprises about working with agencies,
Oh,
how
really?
important that is. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So another thing that we really expect our account executives to do at Team SI is to stay up to date on the latest trends and what's going on in digital marketing and marketing across the board, and also in the specific industry that you work in. So why don't you talk to me about how do you stay up to date on the industry that you're working in?
Well, I watch Midday Roast, and we have SIUs every week that are very important. I don't know if you've discussed those previously, where we have 30 minutes a week where someone comes in and keeps us updated here at Team SI within the office. My Google alerts are set on every client, every industry, every competitor. My Facebook is pretty nerdy because I follow Tech Insider, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Forbes, all those things, that those publications that you can keep up with that way.
Cool.
Plus just reading and following the news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was thinking
Twitter.
just sometimes just to, like
Yeah.
breaking news will
Yeah.
give you a big insight. One thing that I really like to use is Think with Google. They have, I think it's bi-weekly things that they send. Sometimes it'll be like a case study that they've done on a campaign, or maybe just like, hey, we're going to focus on video marketing this week, so here's some suggestions we have for that. So I really like using that as well, and usually things like that come with a video, and we're really great. I like just popping in my headphones and just kind of listening to that while I'm kind of getting ready for my morning and laying out my calendar and that kind of thing. So just kind of, like you said, just kind of get the breaking news of the day.
All right.
And TED Talks are good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You can
absolutely.
put those on a commute an hour each way, and it sometimes I'll put that on the playlist. And it just goes from TED
Yeah.
Talk to TED Talk.
And yeah, like all kinds of podcasts.
Yeah.
Like that, so.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more questions, and then we'll be done. First off, we'll go, what are the challenges that you have as an account executive?
Well, not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
I start on my commute in. Sometimes I talk to my East Coast clients on the phone coming in, and then going home I can talk to my West Coast clients going home. And it's just keeping everything organized, everybody organized. A lot of times it helps to keep the client organized as well as keep our team members organized and make sure everybody's on deadline, got the latest information, and that the communication is smooth and steady.
It's keeping
Keep
all the plates
yeah.
spinning.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. The absolute best.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Do you have another challenge you want to talk about, Kyle?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's about keeping organized. So I know that a lot of people, especially here at Team SI, we live by what our Google Calendar says, and so just making sure that there's something on there. And then
That's why I'm sitting here right now.
Yes,
Because my Google Calendar told me to be.
And then I like taking advantage of things like that. Like I'm really big on to-do lists for different things, and so that really helps. And I break it down by client or I'll break it down by like I need to get this done today, so I have sort of a short-term to-do list and long-term to-do list, and there's a lot of great things out there. I mean, since we're kind of we're in Google culture here, I like using Google Tasks just to say like, okay, I need to get this done today, and then use the calendar for the long-term stuff.
Cool.
So.
All right, last question. So what's the most rewarding thing about being an account executive?
Positive results from my clients. That's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
when you, especially if they try something new
Right.
and it works, that's really exciting.
And Karen has a lot of amazing case studies from her clients too, who've done,
Exciting.
you know, amazing sales results year-over-year increases.
Got the world's best clients.
Yeah.
They're willing to take a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's absolutely my favorite part too. And yeah, being able to come up with something new, and I like especially bringing over things that people don't think about for their industry. And so we talk a lot about like how do people, especially with website clients that I have, like how do people interact with your website versus a website like Amazon.com, and then being able to kind of explain that to the client, and then we can try that out. And when they see a lot of success with that's always a great thing. Yeah, sharing success is a really big thing.
Yeah.
So Karen and Kyle are just two of our amazing account executives here at Team SI, and that's really probably one of my biggest rewards is watching our account executives grow, because you know both of you have just been with SI for almost a year, for Kyle a little over a year, and I've seen tremendous growth in both of you to the point that you're able to mentor and you know other account executives as they come in, and that's been really rewarding for me. If you know our audience would love to have a Team SI account executive assigned to you to do your marketing strategy, to help you with your branding, to help you grow your sales results, I'd love to be able to assign you one. So if you're just interested in learning more about our strategy, planning for the next year, we'd love to have that conversation with you. You can connect with us on our website, Team SI, or on Facebook, at Twitter or Instagram at We Are Team SI. Leave us a message there, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week.